3, 2, 1, 0, and liftoff. Liftoff. Americans return to space as Discovery clears the tower.
TTMTrades back in the flesh. I know y'all thought I forgot, man, but I'm dropping my top 3 for the week. All right, plus one we're gonna be talking about this week. Ticker MYO, ticker PLUG, ticker VTVT, and ticker CX. Again, man, we at 2,700 followers. I deeply appreciate every single one of you, and hopefully I'm continuing to add value to your trades. All right, so check it out, man. Hopefully everybody got in on that dare call that we talked about back on May 30th, right? We told everybody watch. Hey, if you're not a part of this chat room, then I don't know what's going on with you. All right, the chat room free. We're not charging anybody. The link is at the bottom of the video. Click the link, join the chat room. All right, we're just trying to build a community of traders so we can all make money together. Free information, free knowledge. We're not charging for alerts, anything like that. All right, but again, in the chat room, May 30th, we said ticker DARE symmetrical triangle forming for a possible continuation breakout, middle Bollinger Band acting as support, very bullish. That was on May 30th. And then as you can see here on May 29th, May 30th, right here, these two candlesticks we watched, which was right around 108, 110, and then finally we had the breakout from 110 all the way up to 165 for a little over 45% gain. So man, hopefully you all got in on that call. If not, then again, join the free of charge chat room. Again, we not charging, we not selling alerts, none of that, man. We're just building a community of traders. All right, so look, let's jump right into it. We said ticker MYO. Now let me tell you why I love MYO, man. Anybody who knows me and who's been following me, I've been swinging MYO like crazy, left and right. Made a lot of money on ticker MYO. Now, reason why I like ticker MYO is you see on the daily, it's on this little downtrend right here. It started falling below that 1 standard deviation Bollinger Band, and then it started curling back up, and now it's trying to close above it, right? Indicators are starting to line up. As you can see, it was below that 10 period this entire time, and now it's finally breaking above. Now, the reason why I like MYO is big picture, right? I did a video on this one last week. Ticker MYO has been consolidating between the middle Bollinger Band and the bottom 1 standard deviation Bollinger Band. So as you can see here on the run up, rejected, found support by the 1 standard deviation Bollinger Band, ran back up, rejected by the middle Bollinger Band, found support, 1 standard deviation, ran up, rejected, pull back. Look where it's finding support at on that 1 standard deviation. But also pay attention to your Bollinger Bands. Look at them. They're beginning to turn inwards. They're beginning to constrict, showing that the volatility is low. So that means on a bigger scale, this stock is about to break out, right? In the uptrend and or downtrend, we do not know yet, but we do know that 1 standard deviation is where the bulls like to come in and accumulate their shares. And that 1 standard deviation right now is right at 307. And last week it dipped down to 308 before the shares were accumulated and pushed back up to 318. So I would keep an eye on this one going into next week. As you can see, you got this nice little doji that formed at the bottom of this downtrend, which shows indecision. As far as the bulls and the bears, this week will be the confirmation. So definitely line of support to watch is 307 to make sure that holds. You want to see a break above 344, right, which is where your 10 period moving average is coming down. A break above 344 will show some bullishness on the daily, with a break above 370, which is the middle Bollinger Band, which has been rejecting this every single time, would be very, very bullish. If you break above 344 and 370, remember this is a very low float stock, but if you break above 344 and 370 and you hold above it, that is very bullish. So I will begin watching this one on the daily to possibly make some low risk entries here. For one, if you begin to break above your 10 period moving average, which is the yellow line trending downwards, then holding above it, which is currently sitting at 319, that's a good low risk entry. I would, I'm speaking for me personally, all right? Make your own trades on your own accord, but me, I would make an entry if it crosses and hold above that 10 period moving average, knowing that my exit is right around 307 if the stock does reverse, okay? Because on the weekly big picture, we know that's where that line of support is at. But I'll definitely keep an eye on ticker MYO for a possible breakout here soon. Next, we're talking about ticker PLUG. So let's look at this one. I've been talking about this one for 2 weeks now. So as you can see, it was on this downtrend. Big picture weekly. Bulls came in and showed some strength, pushed up, right? Tested that middle Bollinger Band, which is what we look for. And then as the price action began to pull back, it held above that 1 standard deviation, which shows the strength of the bulls. Now for the ran up to the middle Bollinger Band and then beginning pulling back, and started pulling back into these lows right where the 2 standard deviation is at, Bollinger Band, right around 160. It started pushing past that, then we know that another downtrend is continuing. But for the simple fact that the bulls pushed the price action up to that middle Bollinger Band, locked in some profits, right? And then on the pullback, started holding above that 1 standard deviation. Then that shows the bulls on allowing the price action to dip back low to the area where the bears was trying to push it. Now, if you look, it kind of looks like a symmetrical triangle if we connect all the bottoms, all right? So possibly be a possible breakout here soon. All right, you got a low here with a high, higher low with a higher high. If that 186 to 185 holds, which is what I pointed out in the chat room, let me see if I can plug a lot of plays, maybe call a lot of plays. Plug back on May 29th, plug 185 possible bounce. So that's what we're looking at. All right, it started pulling back. We looking to see that it holds, number one, that trend line, and two, that 185 to 186 area. We're looking for a bounce off of this area. All right, now with that being said, if we go to the daily, you can see you had that nice run up, and then as it pulled back, it had above that 1 standard deviation right at that 185. So what we're gonna look for going into next week is the 10-period moving average. 10-period moving average is a short-term average. All right, so anytime the price action crosses above the 10-period moving average, then that tells me on a short-term basis the price action is bullish. So what we want to see is it cross above 189, which is where the price action is coming down, and then the 1 standard deviation is holding right at 184, 185. So either it's going to break down below that, or it's going to break above that 189. So I will watch for an entry once you get a break above that 10-period moving average going into this week. Above 189. Once you break above 189, then I'll probably play that back up to the 2 standard right at 224 to lock in some profit again. So that's ticker PLUG. Now, ticker VTVT. We'll definitely keep an eye on ticker VTVT. Looking at this on the weekly time frame. And then it had this dip, then it had this nice run up back in late April, which was a very bullish run up. Then as the price action began to pull back, bulls came in, bought the shares, pushed it up to 275, got rejected by the 10-period moving average. As it began to pull back to a higher low, bulls ran it up again, which unable to hold above that 10-period moving average. And then again, you can see it tried to push up, and it's kind of closed below the 10-period moving average. But what I would pay attention to is on each week of accumulation, the volume is very high, right? High volume, high volume, high volume. On the weeks that it pulls back, it's low volume, right? And low volume pullback signal profit taking, right? It doesn't signal a downtrend, right? High volume pullback signal that a possible downtrend is about to either continue or start, right? A low volume pullback such as these only signal that that's weak hands taking profits, and then the people that are on the sideline are coming in and they're accumulating those shares that the weak hands are selling when they're locking in those profits. So what I'm looking at going into next week, the 10-period moving average on the weekly is sitting right at 187. This week we closed at 180. So a break above 187 going into next week with a push into that 235 is why I would lock in profit. As you can see that this 1 standard deviation is that line of resistance is kind of knocking it down. So I would look for on the daily, as you can see here, that 235 long-term picture weekly is where I want to lock in profit. But on the daily, I would look to see that we break above that 187, which is a 1 standard deviation. And then you can see the Bollinger Bands are beginning to constrict because the volatility is low. So a breakout is pending here very soon. So what I'll look for next week is, well, this week is a break above 187. You get a break above 187, That's very bullish, but a breakout is soon to happen on VTVT, and I definitely believe it's to the upside due to the price action, showing that on weeks of accumulation the volume is high, and on the pullbacks the volume is very, very low. We're currently holding above our 30-period moving average and sort of above the 10-period moving average. All right, one thing we do not want to see is that this break below 182 and start pushing into the 2 standard deviation Bollinger Band down here at 150, because then that would begin signaling a possible downtrend in the work. So we want to see that it holds above 175, which is the middle Bollinger Band right now. Get a nice clean bounce off 175 with a break above 187 to signal the bullishness is in the bulls control, and that possible breakout will be to the upside. And then last but not least, ticker CX. Now this is another breakout play that I want everybody to keep an eye on. So on the weeklies, you can see this is very ugly downtrend, right? So anytime on big picture we're on a downtrend, short term such as the daily and intraday, we just want to lock in some quick profits, right? So if you look here, middle Bollinger Band rejected it, price action began pulling back, 10-period moving average rejected, right? The 1 standard deviation that's coming down, it acts as a 10-period moving average. So as you can see, it broke above it but couldn't hold, rejected here, price action is consolidating at 603, right? 1 standard deviation Bollinger Band sitting at 637. So we possibly want to see a breakout to the upside towards 637 and try to get a test of that middle Bollinger Band at 711. All right, now big picture, ugly. Daily picture, you got a consolidation pattern here, right? So that's what we want to see. We want to see that this consolidation pattern, as you see, the bands are beginning to constrict. The momentum is definitely in the bulls' favor intraday. Well, not intraday, but on the daily. And we want to see a breakout to that upside. And like I said, we want to test that middle Bollinger Band, big picture wise, at 711 and lock in some quick profit. So 711 on the daily, it's right up here at these peaks in this general area right here. All right, so we want to get a breakout to the upside, try to lock in some profit right around 711 where this line of support is at. You probably get some resistance right here at 643, but the breakout is definitely bound to happen to lock in some quick gains. Now if you get a breakout and you start pushing back into these highs of 720 to 730, I'll lock in some profit and wait on the pullback, hopefully to that 643 where this original line of support was at before you try to play it again. But another consolidation pattern that's holding above his middle Bollinger Band and its 10-period moving average, which shows the momentum is definitely on the bull side. The days of accumulation are way higher than the days of selling, which are pretty low, which is profit takers. So we'll definitely watch this one ticker CX for a breakout to the upside to lock in some quick profits at 643 and $7.11 and up, which is the middle Bollinger Band on the weekly chart. All right, that's it, man. TTMTrades, that's my top 3 for the week plus 1. Again, shout out everybody who got in on that dare call back on May 30th back in the chat room. All right, again, TTMTrades Discord chat, man. If you are on a part of it, it's free. Again, click that link down at the bottom. Get in here, let's make some money together. Again, TTMTrades. Till next time, I'm out.
Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.